you all doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Today we're going to be presenting the Talented 10th, and we're going to be comparing it to MisEducation of the Negro. And the definition of that, the Talented 10th, is a term that helps to describe the designated leadership class of African Americans in the early 20th century. Pretty much W.E.B. Du Bois was saying that the top 10 percentile of the educated people that's graduated from college need to do more for the people that's not so fortunate in education manner. And so they take it a step further. Du Bois believed that it is a problem of developing the best of this race that they may guide the mass away from contamination, murder in their own and other races. And I use this as the concept of MisEducation of the Negro and say lead the masses. The educated Negro leads the masses. And I feel like that a lot of people who are in those positions, doctors, lawyers, i.e. anything that can generate six-figure income, they 9 times out of 10 don't go grab the man from the neighborhood to try to offer insight or even put him in a situation that he may repel himself or his career to something else significant. And as I said, the birth of the concept in 1903 is when W.E.B. Du Bois in September published the article, The Talented 10. He said Du Bois understood and rallied against black people being simply workers and not business owners. He said, and be leaders and community advocates. And really what I mean by that is, you notice how a lot of older people, you see them in McDonald's flipping burgers, you know what I'm saying, or you see them gas station or attendants or security or something like that, when you could be thinking about how we could figure out owning our own businesses and employing people to teach them to build up and own their own business so we can keep employing our own people, because we don't get employed in the top echelon of jobs right away. They put their people there first, and then their people's people there after that, and then they salt and pepper us through. So W.E.B. Du Bois is basically saying we need to start taking care of our own people when we do get in significant positions where we have our own business, where we can not only put you as an employee, but start putting you in training. That way you may open up another franchise in my business, or any one of you all's businesses in that matter. He said he was African-American sociologist, a Pan-Africanist, one of Dr. Ben Levy's favorite words in class, civil rights activist and a historian. And so he was one of the first African-American, he was the first African-American to graduate from Harvard with a doctoral degree. And this is this picture right here. I tried to find a younger picture for y'all. This is the most suave one I see. And I also use Booker T. Washington, because the more and more I read about this man, it just seems like he wanted his people to just obey somebody that was put in a position to feel like they're superior to who we are. He didn't want us to be leaders, he just wanted us to be servants. And I felt that I chose to use him to say his point of view was the opposite of Du Bois. Washington believed that blacks should simply be workers. In his famous word, he says, cast down your bucket where you are. Simplified, he is saying for black people to continue to be subservient to whites, stay in a subordinate position and work for whites. And to read it, like no matter what article I pulled up online about him, it always went back to us just being workers. And I'm firm believer in it's time for us to start working for other people and start working for ourselves, because we have no sense of structure when it comes to being in a successful black-owned business. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find a lot of those around. It's not just it's something to be a black business owner, but it's another thing to be a successful black business owner. And I don't think that Booker T. Washington was looking to those facts. He was just looking, let's get along with the people while we can, and get what we can get when we can get it. But getting what we can get when we can get it is the reason our schools are closing, our children are killing each other. We have no form of family. anymore. Even neighborhoods, inside the homes, it seems like we're lacking in a lot of those situations. They say in contrast, Du Bois believed that there were too many workers and not enough black business owners. And that he is doing what he do best. Brown knows it, I'm sure. Wow. I'm saying, Booker T, this is the dream I thought he had for us. You know, flipping burgers, assembly line, industrial work, everything that has to do with your hands but nothing to do with a businessman. Working class, that's what he wanted us to stay in. And I call it the poison of academia. It's like too often some of the most scholarly, influential black individuals look down upon the less fortunate. And I said that at the beginning is because, you know, you see a lot of people who have money or more money than we may have as middle class working people. And they're afraid of their own people. They're afraid to walk down the street next to you because they feel like just because they have 6 figures in their bank account, you don't. It makes you an animal and it makes them a civil servant human being. But that's not the way things go. And it's like, it's already bad enough that the Caucasian people look at us this way. But when you see your own people come down and look at you like you're beneath them because they may have had a stellar education career, it doesn't make them any better than us. And that's another reason I say those people are poison to our own people. And it's sad. They say the educated Negro leaves the masses upon being financially fit. Is how Carter G. Woodson viewed it. And these are 9 times 10 are the people that we need to help us boost forward in what we need to do as far as a race of people and as far as your culture and who you are as a person. Like we need more people to be in IT positions so they can train the people that was in these positions so they don't have to be in these positions. They could be the next person on the front of these magazines and things of that nature. And so I feel like the way we can move forward, say only 12.6 of black business owners have had prior work experience from a family business. That's nothing. A lot of these white families who are business owners, their children start working in the stores and wherever they may be or wherever they may own at 5, 6 years old. So by the time that it's time for them to propel into a CEO position, they've been in that position already for almost 15, 20 years because their parents are putting them in that position so they can strive and be just as successful as their parents were. They say the numbers speak for themselves. In my mind, we must begin training our own people to be owners, not just workers. So don't hire somebody and just leave them in one position. Once you see them give their all in one position and they putting in the effort and work, you give them a chance to move forward and advance and teach them to do another job. That way, by the time you look up, they had enough training that they could do your job and you can move on and expand your business in another fashion. And this is what we need more of. Young executives, not just, because a lot of the older people who are executives, they're getting old. And these companies are being turned over to Caucasian people. Why? Because most black people that they think don't have the training to run successful businesses and be young executives and still conduct yourself in a manner that you're supposed to at a young age. It's in the modern day effects of miseducation of the Negro. In chapter 5, I use this one, it's in chapter 5, the miseducation of the Negro best supports my views about one of the epidemics that blacks experience, which is the failure to make a living. To me, flipping burgers is not making a living. Stocking the grocery store is not making a living. That's getting by. Making a living and getting by are 2 totally different things in my mind. When you're making a living, you're not worrying about if the light bill is going to be paid. You're not worrying about what you're going to eat night to night. When you're just getting by, you got $2 in your pocket, your gas is on E, and you have to make a decision. That's failure to make a living and getting by. That's totally 2 different things. We don't want to get by anymore. I don't want to get by with mediocrity anymore, which is why I'm in school, learning what I'm learning right now. This can be clearly proven by the past and present societal statuses of the majority of the black population. And what I mean by that is like a lot of people look at their status in society and they feel like, okay, I'm cool, and that's good enough for me. I'm cool, I'm gonna do me. Well, it ain't good enough to just be cool no more. Stop. Every little black kid can't be a basketball player or rapper. Start teaching them that you can still be in my business, but go be an engineer. Work the engineer board. Learn how to mix and master vocals. Instead of thinking you have to be in the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, etc. Learn to go get a sports medicine degree and open up your own practice. And then half the black athletes, half the professional athletes are black. Market your own people. You get hurt, stop running to whoever else, university and all of this, who may not care about you, but come to your people and market your people. Superstar athletes, LeBron James, whoever, RG3. Guy just broke his leg. We had more black-owned sports medicine doctors or more engineers than where you don't have to want to thrive to be like Lil Wayne, who just taking drugs. You can thrive to be like the person who recorded him, looking at him like, you're an idiot, but I need my 2,000 hours for recording. Let's say, it appears that many attempts by blacks to financially grow and develop businesses usually has monstrous obstacles or is sabotage, which means that we fall to the status quo. A lot of black people in ghetto, they don't run business correctly, and that we don't have enough customer service skills to keep our businesses marketable in the new day and age. And I think that thinking right there is the reason that a lot of our businesses don't really grow the way we need to, because we'll pass up on a small time store to go to the big time store and be treated like we're still not the store the whole time. Or feel like the black people have the cheap things and the white people have the best things. Which 9 times out of 10 not true, because they strive to be like us the majority of the time. They see us in an outfit or a car, they want to be in their outfit or a car. They see us rap or sing a song, they have to rap or sing a song. And my conclusion say, often we complain about the eruptions of violence that occurs in the inner city communities. However, I believe that the black people as a whole need to become responsible for one another and have a sense of pride in their culture. And I really didn't know what a sense of pride in my culture meant until I started taking these classes at the center, where you know that you don't have to walk outside and be an aggressive black person. You can hold the door for the elderly. You can say, thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am, and still be respectable. You can shake people's hand and look them in the face and talk to them, look them in the eyes like a respectable person. Everybody doesn't have to be afraid of you, because we only afraid of our own kind because we don't know who we are as a people. We came from greatness, but we don't know that. We don't know that at all. They say then they could be on the road to recovery in the societal ills of the inner city community as a black race. And what I mean by societal ills is what I was just talking about. You see these young children in the street and they're lost. And I don't want to just say they're lost cause, but they just ill. They sick and need to be here. And we have to stop looking at them like, young brother, you lost cause, I'm gonna keep on moving. And I was one of those people who used to do that. And which is why I always bring Chico up, because I didn't start doing that, pull the brothers to the side. So I heard in one of my previous classes, like, this is how you change the cycle. You pull these young brothers to the side, like, hey man, that's not cool. Pull your pants up. Why are you doing all that profane cursing and talking around here? You have your elders around here. It's like you start doing more of that, have a sense of culture, and feed them what they need. Feed their spirit something more than just negativity and telling them that this is why this, that, and then you blowing them off. And say, let me make it clear, having strong families, extended families, and supporting networks are not based upon giving individuals handouts. We have to stop looking for people to give us things. I.e., I'm not saying that you have to stop getting link card, but don't depend on the link card. If the only way you're eating is at the beginning of the month, then you are dependent upon that. You're not using that as a stepping stone to propel yourself into something else. We got to stop being so dependent on what we think that the other race is going to give us, because they tell us every day through media, newspapers, however they let you know exactly how they feel about us. They think that we're animals and all we can do is work for them. So we have to stop expecting them to give us a handout and start building our own things like schools, stores that sell healthy food. We don't have to go to Whole Foods and spend $1 million. Why not give us a small store that sell healthy food? No, but you give us the small time stores. Like in Tennessee, we call it Piggly Wiggly. Stores you go in there to meat brand. Now I'm supposed to take this to feed my children. We have to start building our own stores, our own things, so we can keep our own people healthy. And these networks are based upon teamwork and growth and development on both parties. Stop pointing the fingers, start finding a solution. And I ain't saying everybody could be helped, but the people you can help, try to help them out. And it's like, we having another college sign-up day for Pioneers of Progress. I'll be handing out flyers again. You know, children, but not children, young teens who are graduating from high school who are just thinking that the journey is over. Pull them to the side. Tell them to come to the Pullman Wheelworks building. We're showing that the journey is just beginning right now. And we have to get ahead of the race. That's all I have today. I thank y'all very much. Is there any questions, comments, criticism?
I think you answered.
Yeah, you.
Okay, good.
I think you did a good job. I understand, like, I want to ask you a question, but first I want to make a little short. I understand the thinking, at first I was hard on Booker T. Washington, but I understand the different upbringing. He came from slavery, and he understood that everybody didn't have the aptitude, because you might be 25, so he was like, at least have a trade. Because, like, I'm just saying, like, for some of these young brothers that already got talents that's cultivated, you know what I'm saying? Do you think we should just, I don't want to get caught up in academia being the one all to be accepted. You kind of see what I'm saying? You kind of get what I'm saying? Because it might be a brother that's good painting, and he, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And we can still.
See, that's what I was saying. Like those people, like you might have some people who may have some kind of, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurship or their own little small time business. You see a young brother who good with his hands, he good painting, you bring him in with you. You train him up as you would train up yourself or your son. And then when it's time for you to branch off, you tell him, hey, you hold down this business, I'm going to start another one. And we're going to find another person like you, and we train him up. And it's like, even if you don't go to academia, where you can still put him in a situation where it would seem like he went to academia, and he can still thrive. I know a lot of people with no doctorate degree or master's degree who have lucrative businesses and know how to run a business and know how to market themselves to the people who think they're superior.
Now this is my question. How do we get the people in our race with the money back to buy into us?
We got to stop doing this.
No, this is what I'm saying. Think about everybody you name. You name LeBron and all them. Most people I know, when they get some money, they move to a better neighborhood and they leave, so they take their resources with them. As soon as they get an education, they move from the neighborhood to a better neighborhood, and they spend that money where they usually live. You know, and they afraid because we killing each other and stuff. Exactly. They don't. I don't think. Don't nobody just hate where they came from. But when they shooting over there every day, I ain't excited about coming in no area where they shooting. So what do we do to get them back and to spend money in?
I think you do. Derrick Rose is a good advocate for this. You go home and you don't be scared. You help your people out. See, you can go on the streets of Chicago right now, and you can't say 5 bad things about Derrick Rose in the neighborhood without somebody getting offended. Why? Because he come back to where he came from, and he tries his best to help his people out. And I think that's the only way that we can do that, is show the superstars or actors, whoever it may be, doctors, lawyers, that the little they do for their community, and we show them appreciation. Stop looking at them like they pray, and start looking at them like this could be somebody who can, even if they ain't giving you no money out their pocket, a little insight will go a long way. With just a little bit of faith, we got to start taking leaps and learning to fly, because he's sitting at the edge looking over, and exactly what we got, sitting at the edge looking over while everybody else soaring back and forth.
Right.